All right, Shalom. So let's just pull up real quick. All right, Shalom. Okay, we live. There we go. All right, Shalom. Before I get started with this live lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. I'm back with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash. And I pray that this lesson is edifying. And with that being said, let's jump straight into this article here. This is from gatewaypundit.com. And the title, it reads, it says, MSNBC guest bashes Christianity, says it was brought to America to justify slavery and genocide. All right. And these are the facts as we're going to get into in this lesson here. All right. From this, I'm going to play a clip from this video here. As I read here, it says the disgusting ideology of hate. And that's pretty much the root, the core of Christianity, which was established off of hate and murder of the Lord's people. All right. You tribes, you 12 tribes, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Hispanics. All right. That's pretty much the core of Christianity, hate and murder, as we're going to get into real quick. All right, let's play this clip, man. And this is all more shameful spewing on Esau's glory.
Well, I should say that this is something actually fairly new to me, right? So I have a PhD in religion, studied a lot of American religious history, and this idea of the doctrine of discovery was fairly new. So what it is it's a set of 15th century Christian doctrines that were designed to answer the problem of what do we do with all these people we just encountered in these lands that we didn't know about, right, in the 1400s. And so who do the Christian princes and queens and kings appeal to but the head of the Christian church? And this is, I should say, it is a Catholic doctrine, but this is before the Catholic Protestant split. So it is a Christian doctrine of all of Western Europe here. And so they appeal to the religious authority, the Pope, and they get a decision about what their responsibilities are. And it basically runs like this. It says, the defining characteristic is whether or not these people are Christian or not. If they are not Christian, and if they are not already subjugated by a Christian power, then they essentially have no human rights. And that it goes on to explicitly spell out that they have the right to occupy, conquer, kill, steal their goods. And then this phrase is literally in the document, something still ring in my head, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery, right? This is in the document from the highest power of the Christian church in the late 1400s.
You see? And you mean to tell me that we're not supposed to hate the Edomite? Okay? And this very so-called religion, all right, this doctrine of Christianity was set up to destroy you. All right? When I say you, I'm talking about you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, Hispanics. Okay, you weren't considered a people. All right, the history of the Crusades, the establishment of Christianity in the Americas. This is what they did. This is what Esau did to our people. Okay, and as I said, this is just more shameful spewing on his glory. Real quick, this Lamentations 4:21, because these devils are going to pay, and this is why Yahweh Shema Shai is continuously bringing up his past crimes. All right. Scriptures say that Yahweh Shema Shai has remembered her iniquities, speaking about America and the establishment of the Americas. This Lamentations 4:21, it says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz, which could be symbolic to America, Babylon. It says, the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked, man. So right now, in this time of the end, all right, all of Esau's atrocities, his crimes against humanity, against the Lord's people is all being laid out. All right, he's being made naked. He's being exposed. Verse 22, it says, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee into captivity. All right, because this is the time of the deliverance of the Israelites, starting with the elect. All right. It says, he will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And this doctrine of discovery, all right, which is pretty much the one of the founding principles of Christianity, is what's coming out here. This disgusting ideology of hate. Okay, Esau has always had a perfect hatred for Jacob since coming from the womb. Okay, and you got niggas out here talking about we ain't supposed to hate Esau. We ain't supposed to hate the goddamn devil. You get the fuck out of here, man. All right, we got every right to hate this damn devil, because don't he hate us? Hey, the feeling is mutual, right? It's Psalms 97:10, and it reads, it says, ye that love the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Shai, hate evil. Okay, so first and foremost, if you love Yahweh by Shem Shai, you're going to hate evil. And Esau is the embodiment of evil. He is the wicked according to the scriptures, man. All right? Ye that love the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Shai, hate evil. He preserved the souls of his saints. He delivered them out of the hand of the wicked, all right? And we're in that time where Yahweh by Shem Shai is coming to deliver the elect out of the hand of the wicked, these Edomites, all right, who we're still under this the subjection of, the captivity. We're still here in hell. We're waiting on deliverance, man. And Yahweh by Shem Shai is going to deliver us out of the hand of the wicked, out of his grips, right? Amos 5:14, it says, seek good and not evil, that you may live. And so the Lord power, Yahweh by Shem Shai, the power of hosts, shall be with you as ye have spoken. Verse 15. Hate the evil and love the good. All right. So we're supposed to hate the evil. We're supposed to hate wickedness. All right. Basically, we are to hate Esau, man. Okay. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. And it may be that the Lord power, Yahweh by Shem Shai of hosts, will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph, which is tied back to the elect. Right. Let me get one more. That's Psalms 132. As King David said. All right. Psalms 132 and verse, bear with me. Do I not hate what you hate, saith the Lord? Let me get that. I believe that was Psalms 132. Bear with me. Psalms 139, Salakia. This is Psalms 139. And verse 19. Let's go there real quick. All right, this is Psalms 139 and verse 19. And it reads, it says, surely, Psalms 139 and verse 19, it says, surely thou wilt slay the wicked. O power, depart from me, therefore, you bloody men. It says, they speak against thee wickedly, and thy enemies take thy name in vain. The point, verse 21. Do not I hate them, O Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, that hate thee? Right? So we're in that same spirit. Do we not hate them that hate the Lord? Does not Esau hate Yahweh Shem Shai? Right? Do not I hate them, O Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, that hate thee? Am I not grieved? It says, and am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? Right? Verse 22. I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them my enemies, man. So we're in that same spirit, man. All right. And we are to hate the wicked. We are to hate evil. Okay. It says, I hate them with perfect hatred. This is what King David said. I count them my enemies, right? Esau and these nations, man. And they hate us. Right? Read Psalms 83. Read Psalms chapter 2. All right. The crafty counsel against the Lord's people. Right? It says, search me, O power, and know my heart, try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be a wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. Right. Let me give an example of that. All right. Of that hate before we go back to the video, since we're speaking on, all right, the disgusting ideology of hate. Right. You know, let's get that in Psalms 2. Here's an example of the hatred of Esau and the nations. Right. Let's just get that real quick. All right. This is Psalms 2 and verse 1, and it reads, it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord, Yahweh Shemawashai, and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords away from us. And this is what they did. All right. When they put us into slavery, right? They separated the tribes. They pinned us against each other. All right. The scriptures talk about how we were discontinued from our heritage, man. Right? We had our nationality and heritage taken, beaten out of us. Right? We had Christianity and Roman Catholicism beaten into us. We were called by another name. All right. Esau in the nations pretty much broke up the tribes, man. All right. This is what happened. Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. So this happened. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord, Yahweh Shemawashai, shall have them in derision. All right. Because Yahweh Shemawashai is coming to destroy Esau, man. All right. It says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Right. The point. Let's go back. All right. Just getting back on the topic here of this article. All right. This guest, Christian guest, or I would say Christian guest, but he says this MSNBC guest bashes Christianity and says it was brought to America to justify slavery and genocide. So let's just play it back and we'll read a little bit of the article and grab some more scriptures, right? Let's play that back.
Well, I should say that this is something actually fairly new to me, right? So I have a PhD in religion, studied a lot of American religious history, and this idea of the doctrine of discovery was fairly new. So what it is it's a set of 15th century Christian doctrines that were designed to answer the problem of what do we do with all these people we've just encountered in these lands that we didn't know about, right, in the 1400s. And so who do the Christian princes and queens and kings appeal to but the head of the Christian church? And this is, I should say, it is a Catholic doctrine, but this is before the Catholic Protestant split. So it is a Christian doctrine of all of Western Europe here. And so they appeal to the religious authority, the Pope, and they get a decision about what their responsibilities are. And it basically runs like this. It says, the defining characteristic is whether or not these people are Christian or not. If they are not Christian, and if they are not already subjugated by a Christian power, then they essentially have no human rights. And that it goes.
And this is talking about you tribes here, man. This is what they're talking about, right? In the name of Christianity, to you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, Hispanics, all right? You have no rights. You're not considered a human being, right? This is the core of this Christian doctrine as you're hearing, right?
On to explicitly spell out that says the defining characteristic is whether or not these people are Christian or not. If they are not Christian, and if they are not already subjugated by a Christian power, then they essentially have no human rights. And that it goes on to explicitly spell out that they have the right to occupy, conquer, kill, steal their goods. And then this phrase is literally in the document, something still ring in my head, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery.
Let's get that scripture, man. All right. Straight out of the scriptures. This is Micah 2:1, and it reads, okay, woe to the oppressors. Micah 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. As he's going into the doctrine of discovery, which I got an article here. I want to go into that a little bit too. All right. But it says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. All right. Esau has been given the power. The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. All right. He's the one that's in position of authority. right? It says, and they covet fields, right? And they covet fields and take them by violence, as you just heard him say. All right, steal, kill, and destroy, pillage, rape, rob, and murder, man. All right, and this is what Esau did to Jacob. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics, right? And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. You see that? It says, verse 3, therefore thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, behold, against this family do I devise an evil from which you should not remove your necks, neither should you go haughtily, for this time is evil. And that's why we're in a time of Esau's complete exposure. All right. See, Esau, as brothers say, Esau can't hide. He can't run no more. He has to deal with his dirty laundry. All right. In the name of love, Christianity, all that bullshit, man. All right. The root of all evil, man. Hatred and murder. Okay. This is why this is why Esau wants to keep you niggas Christians. Okay. This is why he wants to keep you in the church. All right. So you can remain a slave. All right. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, behold, against this family do I devise an evil which you should not remove your necks. Esau can't run. Neither shall you go haughtily, for this time is evil. Verse 4 says, in that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with the doleful lamentation. And that's why in this time that we're living in the end, all right, in the time of judgment, of Esau's judgment, all right, you got the world raising up against Esau. All right, the planet Earth is literally crying out against this devil, against the wicked. All right, in that day shall one take up a parable against you and lament with a doleful lamentation and say, we be utterly spoiled. He have changed a portion of my people. How have he removed it from me? Turning away, he have divided our fields. And this is what he did, going back into this doctrine of discovery, man, where by law and decrees that they came up with, they were able to steal, kill, and murder, all right, the tribes. Okay.
Kill, steal their goods, and then this phrase is like literally in the document. Some of these still ring in my head, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. Right, this is in the document from the highest power of the Christian church in the late 1400s.
See, this is in the doctrine of Christianity. All right, in the highest power of the Christian church, as he said, this was the root of Christianity, man. You know.
And so this is what gives license in their minds to European colonizers to try to enslave indigenous people, to wipe them out if they resist in any way, and to enslave Africans. That's how they do it, and still in their minds advance the interests of Christianity.
That's exactly right. And it's worth remembering that this is the version of Christianity that lands on these shores and that in fact motivates the landing on these shores. And I think one of the things I've become really convinced of, and one of the reasons why I get at the heart of this new book, is that this idea that this country is intended by God to be a promised land for European Christians is very much still with us.
It's all coming out, man. That's heavy. Isaiah 28:17, and it reads, it says, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies. All right, the hail is tied to the truth. All right, the hail is sweeping away the refuge of lies. All of Esau's lies and strongholds are being broken down. It says, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place, man. The waters also being tied to the truth. It's drowning out all of the deception, all of the lies of this damn devil. All right, because like he said, this ideology, the core of this ideology is what they came with when they came over here to the Americas, man, when they enslaved, you know, the Northern Kingdom tribes, you know, the so-called Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics, alongside of them bringing, you know, the Southern Kingdom with them. All right. So this is the history, the genocide of one race, the enslavement of another, and the theft of another's land. This is all part of Christianity, the Crusades. All right, when they came in the name of JC, they came with death and destruction. All right, to remove you from your heritage. Okay, let me get that. That's what Jeremiah 17. See, this is how we became Christians, right? It was by force, right? Jeremiah 17:4, and it reads, it says, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. Going back to the curses, this is what happened. We were conquered by our enemies. We were discontinued from our heritage, our nationalities, right? It says, even thou, it says, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not. You see? And we were brought over here to the Americas, okay? Scattered throughout the world. It says, you have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever, right? Which is a long period of time, okay? Habakkuk 2:5. And it reads, it says, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, speaking about Esau, all right? It says, neither keepeth at home who enlargeth his desire as hell and as of death, all right? That doctrine of discovery, all right, which permitted them to kill Jake, to steal his resources, to take the land, okay? It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell and as of death, and cannot be satisfied. He wants everything. He wants it all. But gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. All right. Let's read a little bit of that article too. You know, just some brief history. Right. So let's go back here. So in this article here, it says MSNBC guest Robert Jones went on the readout to literally bash Christianity and call it a religion that justifies slavery and genocide. It says, quote, it is the defining characteristic whether or not these people are Christian or not. As he said, if they're not Christian, it says, if they're not Christian and if they are not already subjugated by a Christian power, then they essentially have no human rights, right? Dealing with Jake. And it goes on to explicitly spell out that they have the right to occupy, conquer, kill, and steal their goods. And then this phrase, like it's literally in a document, something that still rings in my head, and reduce persons to perpetual slavery. This is the document. This is in the document of the highest power of the Christian church in the late 1400s. All right. This is heavy stuff. All right. This is the foundation of what you call Christianity. Okay. It was rooted off the destruction of Jake, you Israelites. Jumping down. All right. It says, bear with me. Let's jump down here because that was everything that was repeated in the video. So here it says, on Thursday nights, the Reads Out MSNBC guest host Jonathan Capehart aired a pre-recorded interview hosted by Joy Reid, gave the Public Religion Research Institute founder and President Robert Jones, who wrote a book on smearing Christianity, with the thesis being that the religion was brought to the Americas in the 1400s with the purpose to justify and enslaving and killing Native Americans and African Americans, right? With the purpose to justify enslaving and killing Native Americans and African Americans, all right, the Israelites. Of course, since Reed is a vile racist bigot, she loved this discussion, right? Esau mad. Let's read a little bit more. It says, attempted to smear an entire religion, Jones sneered at it's a set of 15th century Christian doctrines that were designed to answer the problem of what do we do with all these people we just encountered in these lands that we didn't know about in the 1400s. And so who do the Christian princes and queens and kings appeal to but the head of the Christian church, right? It says, all right, and that's pretty much the point. All right, so let's just add some more scriptures here, right? Or matter of fact, let me pull this article out just dealing with the doctrine of discovery, right? I was looking that up, came across this article here. So it says this, it's from the New York Times. It says Vatican repudiates doctrine of discovery used as justification for colonization. It says indigenous communities have long called for the Vatican to rescind the concept which had been used over the centuries to seize land from the people in the Americas, Africa, and elsewhere. All right. You see this shit, man. It's crazy. Right. Let me jump down. Just going to read a little bit here. So it says the Vatican formally repudiated on Thursday the doctrine of discovery, a legal concept based on 15th century papal documents that the European colonial powers used to legitimize the seizure and exploitation of the indigenous lands in Africa and the Americas, among other places, man, as we just read in Habakkuk 2:5, right? His ways are as of hell and death, all right? Reading on, it says, the decision comes after decades of demands from indigenous people to rescind the doctrine which was used for centuries to expropriate indigenous lands and facilitate their transfer to colonizing and dominating nations, according to one United Nations forum. Let me look up this word. I think I got it pulled up here. Expropriate, right? Expropriation, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It says the act of expropriating or discarding appropriation or declining to hold as one's own the surrender of a claim to exclusive property. It says the act of taking for public use upon providing condemnation by right of eminent domain. And so basically, this is what Esau did, man. He came and took the land, all right, and destroyed Jake. It says the act of dispossession and owner, right? Getting rid of the owner, getting rid of the people. Genocide, slavery. It says either wholly or to a limited extent of his property or proprietary rights, right? Is there any more? All right. And this is what Esau does. All right. We read it in Micah 2. They take lands by violence, by force. You know, let me get that too. There's one here in Job. This is Job chapter 20. Okay. This is Job 20 and 19. And it reads, it says, because he have oppressed and forsaken the poor. All right. Who's the poor? You Israelites. All right. It says, because he have oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away a house which he built not. How did he get the land? All right. Rape, robbery, and murder. All right. The doctrine of discovery. What was the other one called? The other one, I forgot the name of it. It's just slipped my mind. Manifest destiny. Right. This is how he justified himself taking the land, killing Jake. It says, because he had violently taken away an house which he builded not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired, man, because the Lord is going to bring that recompense. Okay. And these Edomites, you know, they're starting to feel, you know, they're feeling the heat. They're feeling the pressure, man. The shameful spewing on his glory, you know, his history that keeps being brought up and thrown in his face. This is why this is why you have a term called what's it called? What they was dealing with in the schools. Damn, I just forgot the name, but where they were trying to take slavery out of the history books. Critical race theory. There you go. Right. This is why Esau came up with the term critical race theory, because they were tired of hearing about their history, man. They were trying to hide the truth. They're trying to change up the history. You know, slavery didn't happen, or you know, the blacks and Latinos, you know, they were indentured servants. They came over here in a cruise ship, basically. You know, they were willingly slaves. They weren't chattel slaves. All this shit that Esau is trying to do because he's being exposed, man. He is the wicked. It says, there shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods, because Yahweh Shema Shah is going to destroy his ass, man. Right? It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. All right? Dealing with the Israelites. Okay? Verse 23, the point, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh Shema Shai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. And we're in that time where Esau is exalting himself as God on the earth. And this is how we know that he's about to be taken down with a great and violent destruction. Right? Revelation 18. All right. Hey, because the Lord remembers. The Lord, the Lord, as the scriptures say, the Lord requires which is past, right? This Revelation 18:5, it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh Shema Shai have remembered her iniquities. And how was America established? All right, off the rape, robbery, and murder of the Israelites. All right, genocide, trafficking. Okay, this is your history in the name of Christianity, Jake. This is why we're telling you to come out of this, come out of these false doctrines, these false religions, man. All right. Yeah, the Christianity, the core Christianity was the hate and murder of the tribes, man. All right. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you. Double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she had filled to her double. Right. So this place is about to see a mighty reward from Yahweh Shema Shai, man. It says, verse 7, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she should be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power, Yahweh Shema Shai, who judgeth her. All right, the great whore Babylon, America. Right, let's go back. Excuse me. So reading on here just a little bit more. All right, it says the Roman Catholic Church repudiates those concepts that fail to recognize the inherent human rights of indigenous peoples, including what has become known as the legal and political doctrine of discovery. A joint statement from the Vatican's Development and Education Officer said the doctrine is not part of the teaching of the Catholic Church, it said, and the documents in question have never been considered expressions of the Catholic faith. Right, and they're saying all of this shit now because they're being exposed as the devils that they are. Right? They're trying to retract. It's too late, man. It says demands that the doctrine be discredited grew last summer when Pope Francis, the first pope from Latin America, visited Canada to apologize to indigenous communities for the church's role in the country's notorious residential school system, where thousands of indigenous children, and when you go into this history, right up there in Canada, Esau basically slaughtered Gad, man. They were raping the men and the boys and girls. They had them in hardcore slavery, man. Made them cut their hair, made them dress like them. When you get into it, right? It was like a whole documentary about a year or so ago, about a few years ago. I mean, RT News, I remember, brought it out, just proving to you that these Edomites are the goddamn devil. It says the church's role in the country's notorious residential school system, where thousands of indigenous children, which were Gadites, were physically and sexually abused. In some cases, died. Suspected unmarked graves are still being found, right? Because they were still finding graves over around that site when they brought it out. It said the Vatican said the text issued 8 months after the Pope's penitential journey to Canada reaffirmed the church's rejection of the colonizing mentality. All right, let me get a quick scripture. All right, because Esau, he's going to pay. All right, as we read earlier, he's going to drink of that very cup. All right, this is Joel. Make a quick point. This is Joel chapter 3. Okay. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 3. And it reads, it says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for the harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Right. And they cast lots, those auction blocks, man, where they were selling our people off into slavery throughout the four corners of the earth. It says, and have given a boy from a harlot, right? A prostitute, a sex slave, right? I went into a lesson going into that. Christopher Columbus, he had an actual, he was actually doing a sex trafficking, right? Which was brought out, they were slaying the Northern Kingdom tribes, right? It says, and giving a boy for the harlot and sold a girl for wine, right? Our young girls were sold for goods, for certain materials. All right. This is what happened to us. And sold a girl for wine that they might drink, right? Let's see if there's any more here. It says, reading on, I'll read a couple more. It says, in Canada, the Pope and the Vatican officials were confronted by indigenous leaders who insisted that the doctrine of discovery remains an issue of contention, said the Reverend David McCollum, a Jesuit priest who has been working with indigenous people in the United States. It says, those conversations and reassessment led to Thursday's statement, he said, adding that some people have been waiting for decades for papal attention to the issue. It's not so much about legal implications, which scholars understand are very complex, he said, but it's about the rejection of the mindset that gave rise to the colonial impulsive and even to the missionary impulses of those times. He added that that's really what is being repudiated. And it's a big step and acknowledges that indigenous voices have been heard and acknowledges the evil that was done. All right. As the scriptures say, he would, his children shall seek to please the poor, right? In that same chapter, right? Where is that at? Job 20 and 10, and it reads, it says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. And this is part of that, man. Acknowledging the wickedness and the evil that went on, right? But that doesn't matter, okay? Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is still going to destroy Esau, all right? It says his bones are full of sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust, right? Going back to the very inception of Babylon, man. All right. This place was founded upon hate and murder, genocide, trafficking, wickedness, right? It says, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, right? Because they're trying to make it seem like they really care, right? It says, though he spare it and forsake it not, but it's still within his mouth because Esau is the wicked. Okay. Right. And we'll leave that article there. You can read the rest on your own. Right. Just wanted to add that in. All right. I was also thinking about this too. Just bringing this back out. Okay. Doctrine Discovery, the slave Bible, manifest destiny, all these doctrines of wickedness from Esau. Right. But it says here, right, because another aspect of this this plantation Christianity, stems from this slave Bible, right? It says, while Bibles given to slaves omitted most of the Old Testament, all right? It says the so-called slave Bible told of Joseph's enslavement, but left out the parts where Moses led the Israelites to freedom. And there was a reason for that, because they didn't want you to know, right? We jump down here. It says, so I'm going to read this part again. And this is a good article for those who haven't read it yet. But just reading this again. It says here, in this context, Schmidt says that the British may have thought of teaching enslaved people biblical lesson about obedience and accepting one's faith would help them be better slaves. Okay. In the name of Christianity, right? It says the slave Bible was actually titled Parts of the Holy Bible selected for the use of Negro slaves. in the British West Indian Islands, right? To keep you to make you be better slaves, to be more submissive. All right. It says it is not clear who exactly directed these changes. British planters in the Caribbean had long been wary of missionaries and could have demanded that they only teach enslaved people certain parts of the Bible. But some missionaries may have also believed that it was only appropriate to teach enslaved people excerpts that reinforced their enslaved status. That's what it was all about. Okay? In the name of Christianity, to keep you enslaved, to destroy you, man. All right? To keep you away from your heritage, to keep you away from your power, Yahweh Shema Shai, you know? Right? So woe unto you niggas that's still in the Christian church, still believing on JC, man. All right? We in that time, man. Everything is being brought out and exposed. All right? Take heed of the truth. Right? It says, however, the slave Bible's editors were, Salaki, whoever the slave Bible's editors were, quote, they're really highlighting portions that would instill obedience, says Anthony Schmidt, a curator at the Washington, D.C. Museum of the Bible, which has a copy of the slave Bible on display. There are only 2 known copies, right? So the slave Bible was incorporated amongst Jake to keep him in a slave-like mind. Because when you read this article, it goes into the fact of how the slave owners feared that these slaves that were reading the scriptures would eventually wake up to the knowledge of who they really are according to the Bible, man. Right? But this is all, you know, aspects of this Christian, so-called Christian religion. You know? Let's get this real fast. All right? Isaiah 10 and 20. So I'll be telling Jake to wake the hell up. You know? So Isaiah 10 and 20, and it reads, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, right? So you have the remnant, the elect, that are no longer leaning upon the lies of Esau. Okay? And this is why these Edomites are pissed off. Okay? Because Jacob's waking up out of that madness, that Christianity. He's coming out of the church, the Roman Catholicism, all of that. All right? They're no longer leaning upon Esau's narrative, but shall stay upon the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy One of Israel in truth. And that's what's happening now. That's why there's a great awakening happening throughout the earth. That's why there's a great exodus that's coming out of the so-called Christian church. And that's happening because of the way of this truth, this knowledge going out. It says, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power Yahweh Shema Shai. And that's what's happening. The elect is returning to the Lord in spirit and truth. And they're coming out of the ways and lies of this damn devil. You know? So that's pretty much the point, man. Just want to bring this out. I thought that video clip was pretty heavy, you know, just going into the really the founding principles of Christianity, you know, and it was all based off slavery and genocide of the tribes, man, of the Lord's people, you know. So, hey, I pray this quick lesson was edifying, you know. Jake, wake up. All right, we're in the time of the end. Come back to your power, Yahweh Shema Shai, before it's too late. Shalom.